your school. Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're glad you're here. We're going to wait a minute or two while people get settled. But if you're here, do us a favor, say hi in the comments. Tell us where you're coming from, what school, what affiliation. We'd love to say hi to everybody. We're going to give everyone a minute. Y'all, it's like spring break season. So I'm really grateful that you're here because this is the type of year where it's hard to do anything. I just wanted to be like, go play outside. I just want to go play outside. But we actually have sunshine here. I'm calling from Minnesota today. So I'm not in the Northeast, even though the Northeast is my favorite place to be. So I hope that y'all are having some sunshine today as well. I'm just want to make sure we give everybody a chance to get settled. Hi, friends. In case you don't know me, let's start here. Hi. My name is Tina VanSteenbergen. I'm so grateful that you're with us today. Or if you're watching this recording later, I'm grateful that you're watching. My name is Tina VanSteenbergen. I'm a professional public speaker. So this is my full-time job. I own my own business. I get to travel the world and talk to women. And my job is so dope and easily one of my favorite things to do. Usually it means I'm getting on a plane and flying to wherever you are to have conversations with women about sisterhood, powerful friendships in the women's workplace, confidence, empowerment, taking up more space in the world. And sometimes it means I get to sit in my chair in my office and talk to y'all from this place instead of getting on a plane. The only downside to that is that you can't see how good my butt looks in these jeans, which is a bummer because y'all, it's a pretty epic pair of jeans. But also, the cool part is I might not even have pants on. You wouldn't know the difference. That's the fun part about virtual life, my friends. What else do you need to know about me? I'm a member of Alpha Gamma Delta. I am wearing pants, by the way, just in case your brain is still thinking about that. I'm a member of Alpha Gamma Delta. That's my sorority affiliation. Sorority is a huge part of my life and how I got into my career and just one of my favorite things. So however you identify in the Greek world, I'm really glad you're here. And this conversation is going to be really relevant to the way that we believe in ourselves as women and the way that we come together as sisterhood to help one another. I live in St. Paul, Minnesota. Like I just said, this is my homeland. I'm from here. I did fall in love with the Northeast several years ago. I lived in Brooklyn for about 5 years, and New York City is my favorite place on earth. And the Northeast is just one of my favorite places to be. NGLA is one of my favorite places to be. I wasn't able to attend the conference this year, which was so sad for me. So sad. So I'm really grateful that I get to come to you like this because I wasn't able to be on site with y'all. So I live in Minnesota, but my heart is in the Northeast. I live here in Minnesota with my husband who, listen, if y'all know my husband, I don't even have to tell you, but he's real dreamy. His name is James Robillata. He is also a professional public speaker. We met that way and fell in love and have been doing this thing together ever since. He's my best friend. He's my business partner. He's the father of my children, a Swiftie, which I think people need to know about him. He's just one of my favorite people on earth. We do have kiddos. That's important for you to know. I've got 2 kids. I've got a 4-year-old son named Rome. We spell that R-O-A-M because we roam the planet. We want him to do the same thing. He's real cool. He's a bilingual toddler who knows the name of every single dinosaur that's ever walked the face of the planet. So it's pretty badass. And then speaking of badass, I have a daughter who's just shy of 2 years old. She's a trip, man. She's a trip. I am learning a lot about what I was like as a child, watching my daughter move through the world like she's in charge of it. So it's a whole adventure, but our little family is very tired and really happy. So that's my world. The only other thing you really need to know about me on a personal level is that I fiercely believe that ice cold water tastes better than room temperature water. You can fight me if you want. I know I'm right. And I feel like other people know I'm right. That's why we all started carrying these things around. So if you're an ice cold water girly, hi. We got somebody coming from Yukon. I've got y'all winning my women's bracket, by the way. I got y'all women winning Yukon all the way for the women. Anyways, friends, I'm really grateful that you're here because we get to talk about one of my favorite things today. We talk about confidence and empowerment. Confidence, empowerment, we're going to use those words pretty interchangeably in this conversation. Both are concepts that I think we throw around a lot in women's spaces. And I don't know that we ever spend the time to really dig into what it means. Confidence is a word that means all kinds of things to all different people. If we were sitting in a room together right now, I would ask you to tell me what confidence means to you. If you are in the chat or dropping comments, I would love for you to answer that question. What does the word confidence mean to you? What do you think about when I say we're going to talk about confidence? All kinds of answers come up in this department. We usually hear about empowered, powerful, comfortable in my skin, proud, bold, fierce, no crumbs. Sometimes we think about people, right? We think about Taylor Swift or Beyonce, or someone says Michelle Obama every time, and I live for it. Or people like in our normal lives, like our parents or our bigs, our line sisters, right? I think confidence is something that we all have a really cool understanding of. And the way that we've all been taught to think about confidence, wow, beautiful, can also make it feel real far away. If confidence means powerful, what about the days where I don't feel powerful? If confidence means I'm comfortable in my skin, Lord knows there are days where I wake up and that is not true. If confidence means I'm proud of myself, what about the days when I'm not? It's this thing that I feel like we're reaching for that almost feels unattainable. So while, yes, I want you to think about what confidence means to you, I want to ask you a different question that I think is harder to answer, but more important to answer. What if instead I were to ask you about your relationship to confidence? What question what words are you thinking now? If you have some in the chat, I would love to see them. What is your personal relationship like to confidence? Every time I have this conversation, people talk about fake it till you make it. People talk about being on a roller coaster. Situational comes up a lot. That my relationship to confidence is situational, depending on what room I'm in, or what place I am, or people I'm surrounded with, even what I'm wearing, my confidence fluctuates. We talk a lot about ebb and flow, that there are good days and bad days, that it's hard, that I'm working on it, I'm a work in progress. Honestly, y'all, there's always somebody, when I ask them what their relationship is to confidence, who says non-existent. And that's hard. It's hard to admit that. It's hard to say it out loud, but it's true. Confidence is not something that we all just have infinite access to all of the time. I don't know a single adult woman for whom confidence just flows naturally out of her all of the time. It doesn't work that way. My word for my relationship to confidence is almost like I can see confident Tina. I'm reaching for her. And as soon as I think I've got it figured out, I do not. I think it's easy to assume that because I get up in front of people for a living, that confidence is something that just comes naturally to me all of the time. And that's not real. I'm just like everybody else. Confidence is hard. And the only way I know how to make it all make sense is to tell you a story. So several years ago, my then boyfriend, now husband, James, and I went on our very first vacation together. First of all, y'all, you need to travel with the person you'd like to make your life partner before you make them your life partner. This is not a drill. It's very important. You learn a lot about somebody traveling. Bus, plane, car, train, don't care. You're going to learn a lot about somebody on a trip. So make sure that you do that. Otherwise, you're going to like fall in love and have a wedding. And it won't be until your plane touches down at your honeymoon destination that you realize you married somebody who claps when the plane lands. And you deserve better than that. All of us do, y'all. Thankfully, James is not that person. James and I were living in Brooklyn, and we decided that we wanted to like get out of town for a little bit and take an adventure. So we went to Costa Rica for 4 days. And one of the things we knew we wanted to do was go on a hike in the rainforest. We wanted to see monkeys and parrots and stuff you don't see in, Brooklyn. So we booked this nature hike. And by the time we get to our resort, we realize the hike is way more expensive than advertised. To the point you have to ask yourself how much money you're willing to spend to be outside. So we cancel the hike. And this is when James turns to me with all the confidence in the world and says, "Don't worry, Tina, I'll plan us a hike." Okay, Long Island. Y'all, I love my husband. He's one of my favorite people on this earth. But he's a city kid. My husband grew up 30 minutes outside of New York City. He is not an outdoorsy dude. But all right, I'll be at the pool. Good luck with planning that hike. Turns out, y'all, James loves to plan adventures for us on our travels. It's like one of his favorite things to do, and he's good at it. So the night before we're supposed to leave, or the night before we're supposed to go on this hike, the hike is like a sunrise nature hike the next morning. So the night before, he's telling me about all the things we're going to see on this hike. He's listing off all these animals that we're going to experience in Costa Rica. And then while he's listing off all his animals, he like slips in the middle of the list. He's like, "By the way, it's an expert level hike." Anyway, so Kawadi is essentially like a raccoon and I was like, "Stop. What did you just say?" He's like, "It's like an expert level hike." Baby, we live in Brooklyn. Like, we don't hike. Chasing the subway is about as close as we get to hiking. We can't do an expert. This is how people die on vacation. Plus size white couple dies in Costa Rican rainforest is the headline that will happen. I will not go out like this. I will not die this way. We cannot do an expert level hike. And he looks at me and he says, "Tina, relax. It's not like we're going to be climbing up mountains and stuff." Y'all, we climbed up mountains and stuff. The whole thing starts terribly. We're running late because we're James and Tina and we're perpetually late. We're running late. By the time we get to the national park, which is where we're hiking, by the way, it's got a hidden beach at the end of this trail. He's so excited. We get to the national park, we park, and we realize the only things that we brought with us were one of those little gas station packages of trail mix and one bottle of water. Good. This is good. We start the hike. Now, I'm a Midwest girl, y'all. You tell me we're going hiking, and I think we're doing some mixed terrain. Yeah? We're going up, we're going down, we're going to be flat for a while. We're just like, it's mixed. No. We walk uphill for 30 minutes straight. I wait 30 minutes to complain, which I think is impressive. But at the 30-minute mark, I'm like, what are we doing? And my husband, who is a very good man, but I think was getting a little tired of my attitude this day, turned and looked at me and said, "Tina, you have to go uphill before you can go downhill." I'm sorry. Did you just mansplain to me how a mountain works? I'm done. I'm done. Except I'm walking in the middle of the rain. I can't go anywhere, y'all. I'm in the middle of the rainforest. So I just put myself 10 feet behind him for the rest of the hike because I'm so mad and I'm so sick of going uphill. But I see there's like a plateau up ahead. I see it. So I'm like, "Okay, Tina, pep talk time. Okay. All you have to do is get to the top of this hill. Your life is going to be better at the top of this hill. You're going to turn the corner. There's going to be some downhill for a while. It's all going to be better. You just have to push to the top of this hill." So we do. Push, dig deep, push to the top of this hill, turn the corner. It's an even steeper part of the mountain. Now, this part of the trail is so steep that there are cement blocks built into the pathway because you need stairs to hike how steep this mountain has become. So now I'm doing stairs in the rainforest. Have you ever cried and exercised at the same time? The number of you that say yes when I ask that question is pretty ridiculous because I know you have. I am miserable. I'm trying to count the number of stairs I'm climbing so that I can dramatically remind him later that he made me hike that many stairs. But I lose count because we're in the triple digits, folks. Like, there's so many stairs. We are working our tails off. And again, I see the end of the stairs. So I'm like, okay, Tina. Okay, T. You can do this. You just have to push to the top of the stairs. Your life is better on the other side of the stairs. There's gonna be like a bench, maybe a water fountain. Like, I don't really know how the rainforest works, but life up there is better. We just have to push. So we do. Push all the way to the top of the stairs. Turn the corner. It's an even steeper part of the mountain. Now, this is going to sound like I'm being dramatic just for the sake of the story, but I promise you that this is true. This side of the trail is so steep that there are ropes tied to the trees along the pathway because you need your upper body strength to pull yourself up how steep this mountain has become. Punch me in the face. Ugh. We get up to the top. And then there's like this dramatic downhill, and we get to this hidden beach that James was so excited to find. And I think our arrival at the beach is the only time in my life where I've seen my husband frolic. Like, arms out, slow motion running. He's leaping into the water. I think he thought the swimming part was going to make it all worth it for me. Except as I'm standing on the shore, I'm noticing that everybody who's leaving the beach is leaving through the hole in the rainforest that we just came out of. It's a hidden beach. There's only one way in, which means there's only one way out. We got to do this whole thing all over again. What? Oh my gosh, y'all. Top to bottom, the hike, top to bottom takes us 7 hours. I'm going to thank you in advance for the pity on your faces right now. 7 hours. Now, this is the hard part of the story or the sad part of the story because I have to tell you that doctors, turns out, are right and we should exercise because we were miserable the entire time. All 7 hours, we were miserable. And then we finished the hike and we sat down and filled up our water bottles and all the endorphins start kicking in. And all of a sudden we start looking at each other with like heart eye emojis on our faces. Like, we accomplished something. Like, as a couple, we overcame. Garbage, trash. We barely survived that hike as human beings or as a couple. And the only reason it was an experience worth having in my life is that for me, it serves as a perfect metaphor for my relationship to confidence. I'm climbing. And I'm climbing, and I see these points at which it's supposed to get easier. I just have to get into the right college. Then I'll feel good about myself. I just have to get into the right sorority, and then I can feel good. Then I'll know I belong. I just have to find a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or a partner, and then I'll believe in me. I just need to lose 10 pounds, and then I can feel confident. We see these benchmarks, these things we've been taught are supposed to make us feel good about ourselves. So we push and we push and we work to get up to those benchmarks, and then we turn the corner, and there's more work to do. I feel like I'm climbing Confidence Mountain, and I'm getting my ass kicked because someone told me confidence was supposed to be easy. It's not easy. And what's worse, not only is it hard, but I think especially for young women in college right now, it is hard and expected of you. I think people expect you to be confident all of the time. It doesn't work that way. So then you have the pressure to be confident all the time, or at least to appear confident all the time, but you're not confident all the time. So then we have to do the fake it till you make it thing, but then we have to figure out, are we not being authentic? Like, it's just like this whole loop of expectations that aren't being met that frankly aren't fair. Confidence is not a button you can press or a switch you can flip to just magically feel good about yourselves. But I feel like that's what we were sold. That if you just believe in you, if you just push the button, then you'll feel great. Like you're going out and your friend's like, "You got a job interview today, right? Good luck, girl. Be confident." Okay. Like, it doesn't work that way. Instead of us thinking about it like a button we should press or a switch you can flip, I want us to think about it instead like a spectrum that we slide back and forth all day, every day. There are some moments where we feel great about ourselves, right? You can leave the house feeling great. Maybe you like the outfit that you're in. Maybe you feel prepared for the presentation you're going to give later today. Maybe you went on a date last night and went really well. Maybe you don't have any classes today and you just get to go work and you feel good. Like, it doesn't matter, but you feel good about you. And then y'all get one text message, one group me notification, one Slack reminder, one grade back. Someone in line for coffee can just look at you sideways in a way that makes you feel self-conscious, and you can immediately slide the other direction and feel the opposite of confident. We bounce back and forth all day, every day, and we don't ever really talk about it. Today, what I want to do is help you talk about it. I want us to stop doing this by ourselves. So, the first way that we work on that is to use some shared language and an understanding concept to bring us all together. The spectrum is how we're going to do that. So here's what I want you to think about. Let's say the spectrum of confidence works like this. 1 is the least confident you've ever felt in your entire life. 10 is the most confident you've ever felt in your entire life. And we sort of bounce back and forth all day, right? I am curious. One of the first places I want you to start from a reflection standpoint is, where are you on the spectrum of confidence today? What's your number today and why? If you have your number in your brain, I would love for you to put it in the comments or the chat so that we can all see where everybody's at. The reason I want you to know your number is for two reasons. Number 1, we can't know what direction we need to move if we don't know where we are. It's really difficult to assess where we are, though, because reason number 2, there's a lot of meaning behind that number. If we have an 8 or a 9, if that's truly how confident we feel, some of us feel guilty, like we're doing something wrong. Like, why do you think you should just be a 9 today? And some of us are down at a 2 or a 3 or a 1 and feeling incredibly self-conscious about that. I don't want to be at a 2. I don't even want to tell people I'm only at a 2. I want you to try to accept this number without feeling any sort of shame, without making it mean anything, because it doesn't. Whatever your number is today, you're not doing a damn thing wrong. You're not. If you're at a 2, great. If you're at a 10, great. Regardless of where you are, it is very likely that you earned your place there. And there's nothing wrong with being anywhere on the spectrum. The goal of this conversation is not to get you to a 10 or to keep you at a 10 all the time. That's not real life. That's not realistic. There's 2 goals today. Goal number 1, I want you to be able to leave this session with the skills and tools you need to increase your number, to increase your levels of confidence and empowerment when you want them or need them. And number 2, I want you to know that you deserve to feel confident. So, in order to get to both of those places, we are going to continue to spend some time on the spectrum, because I want you to be able to utilize that visual to help you understand. The way spectrums work in the world is that the poles are pulling us back and forth. Our highest highs and our lowest lows are what's moving us along this spectrum. So in order to fully understand our relationship to confidence, we need to dig into the moments we felt the most empowered in our lives and the moments we felt the least empowered in our lives. And we're going to start with the most empowered because it's a significantly happier conversation. I want you to think for a minute about a moment in your world where you felt truly, genuinely, authentically confident. You felt good about you. Now, generally speaking, when I ask people to have this conversation with themselves in their brain, when I ask them to think about this thing, it takes them a minute. So while you think, I'm going to go first and give you an example. I will never ask you to answer a question that I will also not answer. Do any of you know what mock trial is? For those of you that don't know, mock trial is students dressing up like fake attorneys, arguing fake cases in front of fake judges. It is exactly as nerdy as it sounds. And this was my business in college, y'all. I went to school to be a lawyer. I was sure that's what I wanted to do. And I went to a school that had a law school attached to it and that had a nationally ranked competitive mock trial team. I took the class because I wanted to make sure that being in a courtroom setting was something that would bring me joy. And the class was like a 1 hour, one night a week, 1 or 2 credits max situation. It was a pretty low pressure class. And I remember going to my very first one. The first night of class, I like roll up in my pajamas. Except when y'all go to class in your pajamas, you wear these like matching sets or these leggings and cute sweatshirts, and you look put together. That is not what pajamas looked like when I went to college. Do you know what I mean when I say aggressively colorful, character-based pajama pants from Walmart? Yeah, you do. I wore the SpongeBob SquarePants ones to class. Yeah. And bonus, I also wore the slippers to class. Yeah. Real proud over here. So I show up in my jammies and I go sit in the back row because it's night class and I'm tired. And I was that kid in college. And it's the first night of class. The professor's explaining what mock trial is, what assignments will look like, how we turn them in, syllabus week kind of stuff, right? Our university's nationally ranked team was also at the front of the room to teach us if we ever wanted to compete in collegiate mock trial. Here's what that process looks like. And then class is almost over. And the faculty member says, before you leave, we just need everybody to give what we call a trial introduction. Everybody has to stand up one at a time and say something to the effect of, good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Tina VanSteenbergen. I'll be arguing today's case on behalf of the plaintiff. Thank you for your time. 5 seconds. For someone like me who loves to talk, no big deal. We start at the very front of the room, and she snakes through all 60 students in the classroom. I'm like in the last handful of people to go. And then once everybody's done, that's it. Class is over. We all start to leave. And as I'm leaving the classroom and walking down the hallway, I hear the faculty member call my name. And immediately my ass starts to sweat. Do you ever just know you're in trouble? I just know I'm in trouble. And I'm like, oh no. You can't wear pajamas in mock trial. Like, I know I'm about to get scolded for looking ridiculous. And I got to like shuffle back in my slippers like an idiot. I'm so embarrassed. I sit down in front of this faculty member, awaiting her to remind me that I look absurd. And instead, she tells me that the reason we did trial introductions as our last activity is because there is one spot open on the nationally competitive mock trial team. And that activity we did in class was an audition. Out of all 60 students in the classroom, she heard talent in mine. She asked me to drop the class and start competing with the team right away. And I did. We went to nationals all 3 years I was on the team, and when I graduated college, I graduated as an All-American mock trialer. This was my business. And it all happened while someone looked at me and said, "Tina, you're talented." Nobody had ever told me that before. I grew up with a single mom who worked several jobs to take care of us. I was a first-generation college student. I was busy and alone a lot, but nobody had time in our life to talk to us like that. At least not in the way that I was raised. And I believed this professor, this teacher, this coach who knew what she was talking about. I had no reason not to believe her. She was the expert here, not me. I like skipped out of that classroom. I felt so good about myself. And skipping in slippers is really awkward. But I felt empowered to do well. I felt confident in my abilities. So that's my story. I hope that you were able to think about one for you. They don't have to be related to college, although of course they can be. If you do have one, I would love for you to put it in the chat in just one sentence because I want to make sure other people can learn about how great you are and all the cool things that you have done. People often put stories in here about getting into the college of their dreams or crossing. People talk about their bid day experience or winning a championship title of some kind in athletics or dance or anything like that. People talk about the first time they played their sport when they were kids or trying on prom dresses. There's so many things. There's so many moments where we can truly feel good about ourselves. And it takes us a minute to come up with one, yeah? We don't do this, y'all. Not only does it take us a long time to come up with a memory where we felt genuinely good about ourselves, sometimes even saying it out loud once we have thought of it is also really uncomfortable. We, as young women and little girls in the world, are not taught to do this. Research shows that little boys are taught to be proud of their accomplishments. Little girls are taught to be nice and humble and grateful. Listen, y'all, I want you to be nice and humble and grateful, but I think you can be those things and confident at the same damn time. When you have a moment, just like a single moment in the world where you feel genuinely good about yourself, you're not doing a damn thing wrong. You are allowed to feel good about yourself. You're allowed to say, I feel confident today. You're allowed to say, I'm proud of me. You're allowed to say, I feel empowered to do this today. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's pretty badass. Someone somewhere along the way taught us that the difference between confidence and arrogance is like razor thin. And we're so afraid of crossing over from confidence into arrogance that we don't even let ourselves get close to it. We're so afraid that if we say, I did well on that test, that it means I'm better than everybody else and I'm smarter than everybody in the room. We're so afraid to say, I feel good in these clothes, I look good in this outfit today, because it would mean I think I'm hotter than everybody else. We're so afraid to say, I feel like I can do this leadership position in this chapter, because we're afraid it means I think I'm better than everybody else around and I should be in charge. That's not true. That's not true. This is one of the biggest lies we've ever been taught in the confidence department. It's that confidence and arrogance are razor thin right next to each other. Confidence and arrogance are two entirely different things. Confidence means I feel good about me. Arrogance means I'm better than you. Those are so different. Being confident does not make you arrogant. Feeling good about yourself does not mean that you're better than other people. Feeling empowered does not mean that other people have no power. They're different. You are allowed to feel good about yourself. And the only way we're going to get more comfortable doing it is if we practice. I'm giving you this activity. I'm begging you to do it. I think that every time your chapter gets together, every time your community gets together, every time you get together in a group of sisters, I think you should say, who felt good about yourself this week? And let each other tell each other the stories that you just thought of right now in that activity. Let her say, I actually didn't know if I was going to get an internship and I've been super nervous, but I got my dream internship and I'm so excited. Or I'm in the major that stresses me out because it's really exhausting and a lot of work, but I think I'm actually doing really well and I'm proud of myself. Or My butt looks great in these jeans. Y'all, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we spend more time as a group of women asking people when they felt good about themselves, telling stories about moments where we felt proud, and celebrating one another when we have those empowering experiences. We should do this together. We need to do this together because it's the only way we're going to get more comfortable doing it at all. The other reason I want you to do this is because research shows that reminding yourself about the moments where you have felt empowered in your life is one of the fastest ways to stop a self-doubt spiral. I do a lot of coaching with women in the world. Sometimes I coach athletes, not at all in an athletic context, just in a mental context. And so I want you to think about like a softball player who's in a slump at the plate. She cannot make contact with the ball to save her life. One of the fastest ways to improve her swing and remind her that she can do this is to literally show her footage from when she used to hit the ball. Not necessarily to work on form or to pay attention to the timing of the swing, although those things are also really helpful, to remind her that she can do it. If you are ever having a moment where you're feeling the opposite of confident, one of the fastest ways for you to stop the spiral, stop the shame, stop your brain from telling you that you're not good enough is to remember who you are, is to think about these moments where you do feel good about yourself. Remind yourself what it feels like to be empowered. This is one of the fastest ways, whether you do it by yourself alone in your brain or you say it out loud to other sisters and friends. This activity of remembering the moments in your life where you felt truly confident is so worth our time. Finding sisters we can talk about them with is so worth our time. If for no other reason than we spend just as much, if not more, time on the other side of the spectrum. And now we got to talk about the opposite of confident. I want you to think of a moment in your world where you felt the opposite of confident. I'm going to go first. It was the same December that James and I went to Costa Rica. It was my first Christmas living in New York City. And I wanted like a Christmas date worthy of a Netflix Christmas rom-com movie. You know what I'm saying? I want the tree. I want all the lights. I want to watch people fall as they try to ice skate and to watch somebody get proposed to at Rockefeller Center. Like, I want the whole thing. So I asked my New Yorker boyfriend to plan us a date, and he does. Do you ever just like see the outfit you have to wear? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I like saw it. This is the outfit I have to wear in the state. It's going to be perfect. But we had just gotten back from vacation and our stuff was everywhere. And so I'm like running around our tiny apartment in Brooklyn trying to get ready to go on this date, and throwing clothes around like a cartoon character, trying to find the right thing. I finally find the outfit I want to wear. I throw it on my body. I step in front of the mirror. It doesn't fit me anymore. Not like it's supposed to, at least. Because it's probably been about a year since I've worn this outfit. And in that year, I have gained weight. And I knew that. But standing in front of a full-length mirror wearing clothes that don't fit is just a whole other level of knowing that. And I don't know if I've ever felt confidence leave my body so fast. From like 100 to 0. I don't want to go. On a date, of course I don't want to go. I don't want you to touch me. I don't want to kiss you. I want to sit on the couch by myself in an oversized sweatshirt and feel sorry for myself. I'm mad and sad and embarrassed. At that point in my life, the only thing I'd ever been taught about gaining weight was that I should feel ashamed. So I did. Now I have the world's best partner for me who doesn't even remember that he came into the room and saw me crying and sat down with me. And he didn't try to fix it, or he didn't shut up, you're not fat me. He just listened and convinced me that we should go anyway. And we did. and it was really cold, so we wore jackets and hats and mittens, and turns out it didn't matter at all what I was wearing underneath it, and we had a really nice time. And when I look back in the pictures of that date, I don't think about this, like, romantic Christmas adventure I got to have with my person. I think about looking in the mirror and feeling like I didn't deserve to go on a date. So, that's mine. That's one of mine. Because I honestly think that's one of the biggest differences between this question I'm asking you and the one when I asked you to think about the moments where you did feel empowered. When I ask you to think about a memory where you felt confident or empowered, it takes us a long time. But when I ask you to think about a moment where you felt the opposite of confident, that takes no time at all. In fact, the only time associated with it is flipping through all of the options and going, which one of my past traumas do I feel comfortable talking about right now? Yeah, let's, because there's so many to choose from. So many moments where we have felt the opposite of confident that we just have to decide which one to pick. Research tells us that this is partly how our brain is designed. Our brain is designed to hold on to memories that teach us powerful lessons. Like, you don't remember every single time you rode a bike when you were a little kid. You remember the time where you fell off your bike, though, because you got hurt. That memory, falling off your bike, what block you were on, what outfit you were wearing, what color your bike and helmet were, you're going to remember that. It is stuck in your brain like a splinter on purpose to teach you something. Our brain gets full of these splinters. Every time I talk to people about this, they tell stories about academic struggles and failures. They talk about their bodies, weight gain, weight loss, injuries, athletics, surgeries. They talk about, there's always a conversation about Panhellenic recruitment. There's always conversations about breakups or getting cheated on. There's always discussions about mental health, diagnoses, counseling, inpatient care, medications. There's always stories about families, divorce, estrangement. There's always conversations about some sort of mental, physical, emotional abuse, and there are always, always, always conversations about sexual violence. It's hard to be a woman in the world. If at the start of this you thought about your number and you were embarrassed that it was so low, think about all the splinters you have in your brain. All those moments. You remember what you were wearing or what the third grade school bully said to you. You remember because they're stuck in our brains like splinters, and that is not your fault. It is hard to be a woman in the world. It is harder to be a woman of color in the world. It is harder to be a queer woman in the world. It is harder to be a woman of a religious organization or a religion that is marginalized. It is harder to be a trans woman in the world. It's hard. For all of us, in some way, it's hard. And so it's hard to be women. But then on top of that, add the expectation of confidence. You're not crazy. You're not broken. It's hard. And the worst part about all these splinters is that they don't come out. They live in our brains rent-free, and they take up all this space, and they convince us that we're not good enough, that we don't do it right, that we're the problem, that we're not worthy of being confident or empowered. They start convincing us of every negative thing we've ever been taught about ourselves. And it's easier to believe the bad things than to believe the good. Now, I promise I didn't bring you here at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday afternoon to depress you. I do believe there's hope. I know there is. And the reason I know that is because of the reason you're watching this right now. This sorority. I don't know who convinced us that confidence is something we were supposed to do by ourselves. That if we wanted to feel empowered, we needed to look in the mirror and say nice things to ourselves. And if we could do that, then we would feel confident. Y'all, if that's how it worked, all of you would feel confident all the time and I would not have a job. But neither of those things are true because it doesn't work that way. We can't do it by ourselves. We can't just look in the mirror and will ourselves to feel confident. If that's how it worked, we would already do it. We were told that confidence is a one-on-one activity, and that is just not true. Confidence is a team sport. Confidence is a team sport. And the best part about that news is that you're already on a team. That you are already a part of an organization that chose you, that you chose. You're already on a team of women. We just have to start doing it as a team. And when we do, the whole game changes. Because here's the deal. Women have this incredible ability to see the goodness and the magic and the light in other people. Right? She walks in the room and you're like, oh my gosh, she looks so great in that outfit. You notice. She sits down at the table where we're studying for the group project and you notice, wow, she's got her stuff together. She is smart. You see it. She walks into the social circle and makes everybody laugh and is charming. You notice how cool she is. The second she's in front of you, you see it. We see the goodness and the magic and the light in other people. And then we keep it to ourselves. And it turns in to insecurity. Instead of, oh my gosh, she looks so great in that outfit, goes, oh my gosh, she looks so great. I look like a toe in a dress. I got to get out of here. Instead of, she's so smart, it turns into, she is so smart. I am so dumb. I can't believe I thought I was smart enough to take this class. Instead of, man, she is cool. I want to be her friend. It's, she is so cool. I'm so awkward. I got to go. We notice other people's goodness. We keep it to ourselves and it eats us alive. It turns into insecurity. And that's what happens when we do confidence one-on-one. But we're done doing that today. Starting right now, we're going to do confidence as a team. And what that means is that you need to teach one another about the goodness and the magic and the light that you see in each other. I'm talking about, if we were in the room right now, I would make you do this, but we're not. So you're going to practice on your own. Real, meaningful, authentic compliments. I want you to look at your sisters and teach them why they are special to you. I want you to look her in the face and tell her why she's important to you. I want you to teach her about the things you notice about her that she probably can't see about herself. And I'm not talking about, girl, I like your hair and your shoes are cute, although I do, and they are. I'm talking about real, meaningful, authentic compliments. Stuff like, Catherine, you bring sunshine with you every time you walk in the room, and I'm in a better mood every time I'm around you. Thank you for being my friend. Latavia, I know that you don't think that you're doing a good job being president, but you're doing an excellent job, and I'm so grateful you're the leader of our council. I believe in you. I'm grateful. Marissa, I know that you got your heart broken, but I also know that you deserve better and that you deserve someone that's going to make you feel loved. Real, meaningful, authentic things. I want you to teach her why she's special. I want you to teach her why she's important to you. I want you to look her in the face and aggressively love her out loud. Now, the second I tell you this is what you're supposed to do, I can feel, I'm like hundreds of miles away from you. I can feel you getting tense about it because it sounds intense. It is a little intense, but so am I. It sounds a little intense, but here's the thing. It's not hard. You immediately get nervous. You're like, what am I going to say to this person? What would I say to her? What would I say to her? It doesn't take us long to come up with something to say. It doesn't, because you notice, you see her. It doesn't take us long to come up with something kind to tell her. It does feel uncomfortable to say it out loud because we don't do this part. Not sober. Y'all, drunk us loves to love each other. Drunk us loves to love each other. Which is why, where in the world is the most supportive place for a woman? In the bathroom at a bar at 1 a.m. or a party? Yes, 100%. You will meet a woman in the bathroom at a bar who will give you a tampon and lend you some lipstick and tell you to stop texting him or her because you deserve better than that. And then she will invite you to her wedding while she slaps your ass on the way out the bathroom door. Some of y'all got numbers in your phone and they are women that you met in a bathroom. And while you were bonding in the bathroom, you're like, oh my gosh, she's going to be my best friend. And you're never going to see her again. We get in these situations in the bathroom at the bar where we just like unabashedly show up for one another. We just support and compliment one another fiercely. Why in the world is the most supportive place for a woman some nasty ass bar bathroom? Shouldn't it be whatever room you are in with your sisters? Shouldn't it be this room right now? It's a rhetorical question. The answer is yes. And hi, Jacob. It should be this room. Wherever you are, wherever you and your team of sisters are, should be the most supportive place in the world for a woman. We do not have to be drunk to tell each other how much we love each other. We do not need alcohol to compliment one another with intention and purpose. We don't need to be drunk to do this because you have goodness to say to her. And it might feel a little uncomfortable to do it the first time, but I promise it gets better and easier the more we do it. Now, it turns out the hard part isn't actually extending the compliment. Turns out the hard part is receiving the compliment. Turns out letting your sisters teach you how dope you are is way more uncomfortable than anything else we've done so far today. And even while she's telling you nice things, in your brain, some of y'all out loud will be like, okay, Christine, like, calm down. You're just saying that because Tina told us to be nice to each other. Like, y'all, I promise you, she's not making it up. She is too busy. She is too tired. Nobody has time to go around making up nice stuff about you. She don't have time for that. She sees it. She sees you. Oftentimes in a way you can't see yourself yet. You might not. You probably don't see yourself the way your sister sees you. And that's okay. That's not your fault. You have splinters all over your brain, teaching you all kinds of negative stuff about yourself. She doesn't have your same splinters. She sees you. And while you don't have to see yourself the way she sees you, you have to believe she's telling the truth. You have to believe that she sees goodness in you that you just can't see yet. If we can do that, if you can believe when she says kind words to you that she means them. I've been practicing this for about 3 years now, and I can confidently tell you that if you can start to believe your friends when they tell you powerful, beautiful, magical things about your powerful, beautiful, and magical self, then slowly over time, you will start to see yourself the way she sees you. She's not necessarily going to pull these splinters out of your brain, but she can fill your brain with a whole bunch of other perspective on you and just how magic you are. This is what it feels like when we do confidence as a team sport. I love working with sororities because we call ourselves women's empowerment organizations, which we are. And the t-shirts are cute and the stickers are lovely. But if we're not doing this right here, complimenting each other meaningfully, teaching each other how great we are, showing each other how loved we are, then we're just wearing t-shirts and cute stickers. This is what actual empowerment looks like in women's sorority. It's not just about loving each other, although please love each other. It's about loving each other out loud and teaching each other about the things that we see. This is what confidence looks like when we do it as a team. Every single one of us is climbing Confidence Mountain, y'all. Every single one of us is doing this. And I don't know how to make the hike itself any easier. I am working on it. As soon as I can make the world be nicer to women, you'll be the first ones I tell. I don't know how to make the hike itself any easier just yet. I don't know how to get rid of the stairs in the pathway and the ropes on the trees and the men mansplaining things to you along the way. I don't know how to make the hike itself any easier, but I know that we can make it feel easier. A research study was done just a few years ago where they put a person with a heavy backpack on at the base of a mountain, and they said, "You are about to climb the mountain in front of you. How steep do you think it is?" And that person guessed how steep they thought it was. Next time they brought them back, but this time they put a friend next to them, both of them wearing heavy backpacks, standing at the base of the mountain. And they asked the first person again, "How steep do you think this mountain is?" And they guessed. And all the people who stood next to their friend as they guessed how steep the mountain was thought that the mountain looked less steep. Same mountain, same hike. But just knowing that they didn't have to do it alone made it look easier. Every single one of you is climbing Confidence Mountain. And it's going to be hard. But if we all have to climb this mountain, then let's climb it together. Let's make it easier for ourselves. Let's make it easier for each other. You are on a team. You deserve to be on a team and to do confidence as a team sport. You are worthy of feeling good about yourself, and your sisters and all of their love is a really powerful tool to help you do that. I so hope that today gave you some skills, gave you some ideas about how you can do that together, because I know you're worthy of it. If there's anything else I can do to be helpful, if you want to talk about how to implement these activities or how to make this make sense, especially like right before recruitment or anything else like that, that is what I am here for. I am here to help. You see in my name, it says my Instagram handle. I'm Tina. You can find me on all sorts of social media platforms. Slide into my DMs, girl. I am happy to help you because I believe in you fiercely. And I know that you deserve to feel empowered in the world. I hope that today was helpful, and I'm so grateful you were here. Go be a team. You deserve it. Bye, everybody.